So, today I wanted to talk about the potential for conflict between the five great nations in the Boruto series. I was originally going to do an episode review on episode 149, talking about the differences between the anime and the manga and the additions that they made to the episode that expanded on what we knew in the manga. And while doing that, I thought about the scene where Naruto and Shikamaru talk to the feudal lord of the land of fire, Ikkyu. And the more I wanted to talk about it, I realized that I was better off just doing a discussion video rather than an episode review, because this was the main difference to me that stood out most between the anime and the manga. Because in the manga, we didn't actually get their meeting, but in the anime, they added that, which I really enjoyed, because not only did we learn about the politics behind the hidden leaf, but we also get an understanding of how the power system works. So it seems like when the feudal lord and the Hokage are necessary to make some decisions. So in their meeting, they talk about cutting the defense budget, which seemingly was brought up by the feudal lord. I'm guessing we're getting the tail end of their conversation. And Shikamaru tells them that it's essential for the investigation of Kaguya's ruins. And just on that, as far as we know, only Sasuke studies the ruins, so that would be cutting off money to Sasuke, which is probably one of the reasons that Naruto was quick to to defend his position. And I'm guessing that while Sasuke is traveling, not only is he getting paid for doing this mission, even though it was his redemption journey, I guess he still needs money to support his family, but he's probably getting money for travel and possibly paying people to get into certain places instead of just sneaking in and possibly causing problems. Because these places he's going to could have major significance to other cultures and nations, and Sasuke may have to pay to get in to see them if they're not allied with the five great nations and doesn't want to cause any trouble. Because we know Kaguya has global influence on the Naruto world since she's basically the mother of all shinobi. And I guess information on her can be basically anywhere in the entire world in which Sasuke is traveling right now, aside from him just going to other dimensions. An example of Kaguya's influence on the world could just be Kimimara's clan, the Kaguya clan, where Kimimaro is from, and we don't even know if they have a direct relationship with Kaguya, if they inherited her jutsu from her, or by some other means. And I guess Sasuke is looking for traces to Kaguya, and they could literally be anywhere within any clan. And in the nations, aside from the five great nations, they tend to have financial problems. And for all we know, the defense budget of the Leaf going to Sasuke could be going to Sasuke paying to get information. But that aside, the feudal lord says he knows that the peace is only temporary and says that I don't expect it to continue forever, which is something I think the Boruto anime and manga, mostly the anime, has been hammering into our heads since early on. And to me, that's 100% foreshadowing that the alliance between the five great nations will probably be broken up, or there'll be an increase with friction and tension between them. We've already somewhat seen a few examples of this in the anime. I guess the first one would be when the five Kage have their meeting and they talk about the shinobi of the new age not being as strong and them getting less jobs due to the lack of conflict. Another example would be back in the new Seven Ninja Swordsman arc in the beginning of the anime, where Kojiro and the fifth Mizukage talked about how if the feudal lord demands it, they'll go to war. And during that arc, we also found out that the people connected to the feudal lord backed up the rebellion and Shizuma in the Land of Mist. So if the Land of Mist feudal lord backs up a rebellion, that means that he or she is okay with conflict. Because when you look at it, the reason they backed up Shizuma is because Shizuma was going to make Yagura, or is it Kagura? Kagura, the new Hokage, or not Hokage, Mizukage of the Land of Mist. And the third and most recent example is when the Tuchi Kage got captured by a clone made by the third Hokage who was looking for power to make his village stronger, and because he didn't want the children of his village to fight anymore. But nevertheless, he was looking for power to give his village an edge in conflict, even though they have a peace treaty which prevents that. And when you look at that arc, you realize that the Leaf got involved after Mitsuki, one of their ninja, deserted their village to leave to head to the land of stone because that group of the clones brought Mitsuki there so that they can steal Mitsuki's heart, which you can kind of consider treason, or I guess the betrayal of the alliance, because that whole situation with Mitsuki leaving the village was initiated by the Hidden Stone. And at the end of the arc, Oniki ended up dead, which could be considered them showing a sign of weakness, and that could also give reason for another village outside of the five great nations to attack them. Because their feudal lord wouldn't have been happy about this, because it would have shown that their nation is weak because they needed help from another one of the five great nations. I think all of this is all just going to build up and add tension and friction between the five great nations, even if it's indirectly, because at the end of their conversation, Naruto says whether he diverts his energy towards something else or not, what we do will not change. Even though the feudal lord suggested that they added funds to social services and education, Naruto says what he does will not change, and says that a shinobi's job is to protect the nation and its people. And I don't think Naruto is trying to disagree with the feudal lord because they seemingly are fond of each other. The feudal lord says he can only be honest around Naruto. And Naruto, I couldn't imagine him hating someone who likes him for no reason. So I don't think that it's that disagrees with the feudal lord. I think that he just prioritizes protecting the nation and the people that live in it, as opposed to the feudal lord who wants to serve the people by providing social services and education about everything that goes on around them. And this is kind of a contrast to what we've seen in the series so far, because from what I've seen, it seems like the Genin and kids growing up don't know much about the Fourth Great Ninja War, even though it happened only about 15 years ago. We see Sarada studying a book about the Sharingan, and she doesn't really know about her clan. Boruto and the others don't know about what Mike Guy did, because early on in one of those early episodes, they had Mike Guy come into their class, and Mike Guy was talking about him fighting Madara, but he didn't say Madara directly, and the kids had no idea who he was talking about. So it seems like the ninja want to hide all of the previous war, I guess maybe the war-torn history between the five great nations. But the feudal lord seemingly wants to educate the people on everything that's going on to maybe better help them, while also providing social services. But Naruto, I guess the way in the generation he grew up in, the Hokage's job was just to protect the people. So I guess that's all he's focused on right now. Because when you look at it, none of the other Hokages went through a peace period like Naruto is going through right now. So Naruto only knows what to do, how to act as a Hokage based on his experiences, or based on the other Hokage's experiences and what they've done. I don't think Naruto's going to have any problems with the feudal lord, but I do think tensions will arise within the other nations. I thought seeing Naruto disagree with someone he's not arguing with was pretty interesting. I guess we're seeing a whole different Hokage Naruto. But that's all I have to talk about with this discussion or review video. Let me know what you think could possibly happen in the series regarding the five great nations and their potential for conflict. Let me know what you think could possibly happen later on in the series. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching, and bye.